Sustained performance in footy is more than just one great game. It's the same with your super. Host Plus is a super fund with a history of long-term top performance. Host Plus, we go with you.
This is general advice only. Consider the relevant Host Plus PDS available at hostplus.com.au before deciding if Host Plus is appropriate for you. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance.
For goodness sake, Gary.
Hey,
if you can't see my point of view, I don't know why we're wasting our time sitting here arguing.
Everyone out there, just relax. Wisp and I will have an argument every now and then. We do still love each other. It's all cool. Apparently I'm cranky. It'd be boring radio if we sat here and just said, I agree with you, Tim. Yeah, I agree with you. It's good. I love it.
Yeah,
we can agree to disagree.
Exactly. We got moved in different directions, and that happens sometimes.
I tell you, he's not happy. Sammy Edmund, he had 3 other things he needed to get
Can we get him back?
We'll get him back later. Tommy Rockcliffe's had a fantastic AFL career. 208 games in actual fact, 154 with Brisbane, 54 with Port. There's a stage there where he was playing some elite footy where the Melbourne Footy Club had some interest in him, and I was excited about that prospect. He clearly didn't get to the Demons. He got to Port Adelaide, and he's had to hang them up in circumstances that you and I both weren't familiar with, and he's been good enough to join us. Hey, Tommy, first up, congratulations, mate, on a terrific career.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Hey, can you fill us in? You hurt yourself, you hurt your knee, you got some blood clots. Can you give us the whole setup that we were not really alert to?
Yeah, I can. We played in Brisbane that weekend, so I flew up as an emergency, then flew back the day on the Sunday to play sample footy. Went up for a spoil, came down, twisted my left knee and hurt the MCL on that, but also did the medial meniscus on the right knee in the same incident, which is pretty unheard of to hurt both your knees. And went and got them scanned, and then I had to go in for surgery on the right side, which is normally a walk-in, walk-out type of operation. So they weren't too concerned about it, but when I was obviously on crutches, I had to hobble around, so spent 3 or 4 days on the couch and pretty much couch to bed and on pain relief. I couldn't really move too much, and my ankle swelled up on my left side. My wife Shana noticed it in the shower and said, "Just get that checked to make sure it's okay." And I went to the club that day just to see the docs and say, "Look, this is swollen up here. I don't know what's going on." And he said, "Oh, you might have a clot. I highly doubt it in your calf, but we'll just go get it checked." And so I went to a scan place, and she said, "Yeah, you've got a 10-centimetre clot in your calf. Don't leave here. We'll speak to your doctor and we'll see what we can do." So they sent me straight to a hospital for a chest scan, a CT of my chest to check my lungs, and said, "We've got to make sure that it's not on your lungs, that there's no clots or anything that's happened there." So we went straight to a hospital, got a CT scan, and it showed that there was 2 blood clots on my lungs, which started to become, pretty scary there. And they were pretty calm about it, but we have a bit of an issue with hospitals over here and ramping. So I had to get rushed back to the other hospital where I had the surgery so they could get me in because I was a patient there. And I suppose the rest is history. From there, I went in and started on blood thinners straight away. And when you're on blood thinners, you can't play. We hoped that they'd be gone by now, but unfortunately, there's still one on my calf, and the risk is too great to play. Clearly, when you're on blood thinners for brain aneurysms or something like that, and if the clot's still there, the doctor said it can stay in a position for 10 years and not really do any damage to you. But if you get off the blood thinners, you do run the risk of being hit in that calf and then it transporting back to your lungs. So for me, it was a simple decision in the end, but a tough one at the same time.
Is it
unbelievable?
That is an unbelievable story, Rocky. But how do you feel about having to turn your back on the game under these circumstances then now?
Oh, I think I've come to terms with it, Tim, this year. I've always probably understood that it was a possibility once I got the blood clots. I think had it been my knees, I would have been playing at either SANFL or AFL level probably 6 or 7 weeks, 8 weeks ago. So I knew that there was always a risk that it was going to be still around. We had a couple of checks and it had gone down. It's gone down to 3 centimetres in my calf. So it is a positive sign, but it's sort of hovered around that mark for the last 6 to 8 weeks, which is disappointing, particularly last week or whenever it was, 10 days ago. I got the last scan and it was still sitting in the calf. So it wasn't worth it in the end. And we, in consultation with doctors and medical people, had conversations, and they've said to me if it was an arm or a leg would tell you to get out there, they can repair, but your lungs and your internals, there's just too much of a risk, and if something goes wrong, it's not repairable, and you possibility of not being here.
You're really self-deprecating yesterday. You said that you turned up at Brisbane as an 18-year-old. You're overweight. You couldn't run. You couldn't jump. You can't do this, can't do that. You can't kick over 30 metres. And then you said, and I'm leaving the game exactly the same way, which is very funny, right? But you're downplaying your contribution to the game and what you are capable of doing. I just wonder now, when you reflect on that move from Brisbane to Port Adelaide, would you do that all over again?
Yeah, I'd do it in a heartbeat. There's no doubt about that. I think at the time, Brisbane, we couldn't come to an agreement, and they were happy to rebuild the list and for me to come down here. And I said yesterday that it was disappointing that Port Adelaide, I didn't feel like they seen the best of me. I came off a shoulder reconstruction down here. I had 2 more shoulder reconstructions in my first 2 years here. And then obviously the knees and blood clots this year. So I've had a 4-year period where I haven't been at my best, and that probably hurts me the most in the move. But as Gary said before, Melbourne did try and poach it at one stage in my career, and I still would have loved to be a one-club player. I think everyone would, but at the end of the day, I think I was still pretty loyal. I've seen out every contract that I ever had. I didn't break a contract or anything like that. I parted ways with Brisbane on pretty good terms, and I've loved every minute of Port Adelaide, and they're 2 great football clubs, and for 2 very unique reasons. I mean, Brisbane's history of coming together with Fitzroy and the Brisbane Bears, and then you've got a football club that's been around since 1870 at Port Adelaide, and it just means so much to the community down here and what it is for the football club. And once you get to Port Adelaide, you really start to understand that.
Hey, Rocky, you've stayed around. I see you're doing some stuff on the bench now. You got a Port Adelaide side who are in the top 4. Just as we let you go, I mean, we've got some Port Adelaide, a lot of Port Adelaide supporters who listen. Where do you see this group? Is it as good a group as you've seen at Port in your time?
Yeah, I think it's not too dissimilar to last year. Like we go down by a kick in that prelim, and I think if we had done a few things a bit better in that first half, we should have been a bit further in front of Richmond, but Richmond are a great team and they found a way to win, and I think this team's just as good. We sit in the top 4 for a reason. We're starting to get everyone back on deck and starting to get a few runs under their belts now. So we've had our worst year in history of surgeries throughout a season. I think we're up to 15 as a club, which is just off the charts when you think about it. Sometimes you go through soft tissue stuff, but to have that many surgeries is just incredible. So we're starting to get everyone back at the right time of year, and hopefully we can start to play our best footy. Obviously a huge game against Carlton. They're going to be up and about for Mark Murphy, but we can lock away that top 4 position with 1 win in the last 2 weeks, and we want to finish top 2. And you've just got to play a really good brand of footy in that last 3 or 4 weeks, and we think we're more than capable of it. And as you said, we sit in the top 4 for a reason. We've got to win games, and we've done that throughout the season.
Hey, again, congratulations from Tim
Yes.
and I and the whole SEN family. It's been a fantastic career, a continued good health, most importantly, from this point forward, and good luck to your Port Adelaide this year.
Good on you. Thanks for having me, gents.
Good on you.
On you, Rocky.
Tommy Rockcliffe, who was, at various stages, was in the very, very pointy end of the best players in the competition.
I really admire those guys, the ones that have to work really hard. And he talked about, the fact that he was overweight and he couldn't run, he couldn't kick far and all that type of thing. But that's the great thing about the game, isn't it? Somebody has that desire, that passion to want to play, and they just find a way. They just find a way.
Do you remember when he was playing full forward?
Yeah, I do.
When he went in full forward, it was a hard matchup.
It was. In fact, I think at one stage there was consideration for him to be as the small forward in the All-Australian side.
Yeah. No, it's a very good player. Where's Phil Marshall? Does he want to come back in and finish off his thing? We've stopped our argument now. No, he's gone. All right.
Is he not coming back?
No, I don't think so. Tom was here for
I heard him out there complaining before about all the work that he'd done overnight. Got up early, came in here, and all he heard was you and I arguing about
struggling
something.
with back pain. Apparently,
We're sorry.
Someone says I've been way too argumentative of recent times. It's repetitive and not good listening. I disagree with you. Tom
You know
was
what?
here for Keys.
I love it when you fire up.
Yeah, well, good. That's what life's about, ups and downs.
And next time we argue, I'm going to let you win.
Let me say this. Struggling with back pain. Now's the time for Keys. Now open in Mornington and Ocean Grove.
Tilers want to win your tiling products for a year? Thanks to Beaumont Tiles and their partner DTA Tools Australia. Simply go in-store or jump on iCanWin.com.au.